the fabric cutting and layout for the gym bag, and you should use the pattern envelope in your drawer, and all the pieces you should have an instruction piece like this that has the directions for making the gym bag with your drawer number on it. You should have a pocket piece that looks like this. You should have one round end pattern like this, and they're all labeled number 1. And then here is your gym bag pattern. Unlike 7th grade, you don't have any fold when you cut out the gym bag, so you're going to be cutting it with the fabric opened all the way out. So let me just do that now. So right now you see the selvages are matching. For your gym bag, you need to actually open that out. Okay, and just like in 6th grade and 7th grade, you want to pin the gym bag to the fabric, and you need to call pattern check before you start cutting. So take your gym bag, and you can put the short edge of the gym bag along the selvage edge, and it's perfectly okay to come right up to the edge. And if this edge here is cut straight, you can put it along there. This isn't perfectly straight, but it's straight enough for your gym bag, so that's fine. So then you're going to pin it on like you've remembered from 6th grade and 7th grade. Put diagonal pins in the corners, and make sure that the head of the pin does not stick off the edge of the paper. And put 4 diagonal pins along the corners, and then we'll put perpendicular pins in the middle. And you'll notice that this edge and this edge are already cut. I don't need to put pins here and here because I'm not going to be cutting there. But since I am cutting here, I'm going to put a pin in the middle. And then wherever I see the pattern is folded over here, I'm going to put a pin along this side in those places. And again, just checking each time that the pin head is inside the edge of the paper. And these pins are perpendicular. Okay, at this point you should call pattern check, and I will come and check it. And the thing I would notice is this pin head is still sticking off, so I would help you remember to push that in. And then you get your shears, and you can begin cutting. Remember to take your shears, if you're right-handed, in your right hand, and take the extra fabric on the left side and just cut along the edge of the paper. Be careful not to cut the pattern paper, but you want to just be cutting the fabric along the edge, and your scissors are perpendicular to the table. You shouldn't be cutting at an angle because that can affect the size of your gym bag. When you come to the corner, try and cut close to the edge there. Then take this fabric and come and cut along this edge as well. Take long, smooth strokes as you're cutting. And that is your gym bag. The next thing you need to do is look at the best use of your fabric and try to find a way not to waste any fabric, but let's see where would be a good place to get our pockets and our round ends. Let me just check here. Is this piece here big enough for another? It is not big enough for another gym bag, so we'll go ahead and use this space right here. With your round end, we're going to pin it, let's see, actually I think we might be able to fit our pocket right in here. So we're going to pin our pocket right up to the edge here and save fabric as best we can. With your pocket, you can just put 4 diagonal pins in the corners. And again, it's perfectly okay on the gym bag pattern to come right up to the selvage edge. You'll notice some of the patterns are a little old, but be careful just to cut a straight rectangular line there. And then for the round edges, let's just see where we can get one here and one there. So we'll put the round end the first time. You're going to have to unpin it and cut it a second time. 4 pins will be okay for the pocket as well. I'm going to just go off a little bit to the side because there's too many holes right where the crease is. Okay, but put 4 pins in, and double checking that the pin heads are inside on the paper. Okay, at this point you can call pin check or pattern check, and I will come and check it for you, and then we'll cut these out. Okay, I'm going to just cut the pocket first, and again, starting where I can cut on the right side here, being careful not to cut the fabric or the I am being careful to cut the fabric, and then let's see, just cut this off here. Okay, and then let's come over here on the side. These little scraps here are small enough that you can just throw them in the trash, but if you have pieces that are a little bit bigger, we'll save those, and I'll show you how to do that when we finish cutting out the round ends. So as you come along the edge of the round end, we're just going to cut again. It's on a curve, so curved lines are a little bit trickier to cut, but if you just try and move your scissors along the edge of the pattern as you cut, you want to try not to have zigzag edges when you cut the round end, but if it happens, it's going to be serged on the other machine, so it will be all right if that happens. But do your best to cut a smooth circular line. And you'll get to a point where it'll be easier to just come up and go the other way. And then once you have finished cutting out one round end, remove the pins and move it over as close as you can to save fabric, and then put the pins back in one more time. And again, at this point, ask for pattern check so that I can just visually check that you're saving fabric as best you can, and then when it's okay, you may begin to cut it out, your second one. Be careful not to cut through other pieces of fabric, so you want to make sure that everything on the table is cleared off. Okay, at this point you can remove your pins from pattern, and you have all of the pieces for cutting out your gym bag ready to go. There's a couple things you're going to need to do. Go to your toolbox and find your marking chalk, and on the back side of your round ends put your initials. We'll just write Spike for this one, and then you'll put your drawer number on back of both sides of the round ends and on your gym bag. You don't need to do this for your pocket. Okay, and the gym bag is over here. And again, just write your initials or your name, and your drawer number is important so that I know where to put it back after it's been serged. Okay, so take the pins out. And then let's look at how to take care of the leftover fabric. Small pieces like this, less than 10 centimeters, can get put in a pile to go into the trash. If you look at the fabric that's left, if it's big enough for another gym bag, it will go back in the fabric drawer for the gym bag. I think we can probably get one more gym bag out of that space right there. So we're just going to take and fold the sides over so that it will come into a square size or rectangle, and just keep folding it down until it gets into a rectangular piece. We need to be careful not to have your fabric wadded up. If it gets extra wrinkles in it, that makes it hard to use. So then fold this again like this, and smoothly fold it like this, and down to about this size right here. and then it's ready to be put away. If you have a piece of fabric like this, if it's big enough for another pocket, you can save it, but if you look at this one, it's just a little bit too small. So since it's not big enough for a pocket, that piece can also get thrown away. Okay, and then there's one last thing that we need to do before you have your gym bag turned in. Before you turn in your gym bag so that it can be serged at the serger, you need to take the pattern that marks the dots for the placement of your webbing and where your pocket is going to fit. So with the marking chalk from your toolbox, match the end of the pattern to the end of your gym bag, and if it doesn't fit perfectly on the sides, make sure that it's centered so that you have it even. Then just take, and you don't need big marks, but just mark each of those 4 holes so that we'll be able to see where we should put your webbing and your pocket. And then the important thing to remember is on this pattern to pick it up and do the same thing on the other end, but make sure that the end, you turn it around and that this end. A lot of students make a mistake and they don't turn it around and they just slide it down, and then that puts your pocket and your webbing too close to the bottom of your gym bag.